Hey there nation, and welcome to the show where we help you to play miniatures wargaming on a budget. It is I, Commander Cheapskate, and welcome to our very first episode of Necromunda Hired Guns, your ultimate guide to gritty Underhive of Games Workshop's Necromunda. In this series, we will take a deep dive into the fascinating world of hanger-ons, brutes, as well as hired guns. Whether you're a seasoned gang leader or just stepping into the dark corridors of Hive Primus for the very first time, our in-depth analysis will help you to master these valuable allies and assets. So in this series, we'll give you a comprehensive breakdown on hanger-ons as well as their unique abilities. We'll also provide brutal insights into the strengths and weaknesses of your gang's brutes. We'll provide tactical tips for hiring and deploying the best hired guns in your gangs, and of course recommend strategies for maximizing the impact on your gang's dominance. This is a very new series for our channel. I'm really excited to actually bring this to you guys. A lot of players have been actually asking me questions in the comment sections about how to use various hanger-ons, hired guns, as well as brutes and their gangs. I also see this question pop up quite a bit on Reddit, especially for Necromunda forums. So I thought this would be a great series to actually start working on this channel, so that way you guys can learn how to use these hanger-ons and these assets in your gangs. So with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about the very first of our most important hanger-ons. So the very first hanger-on we're going to talk about that you should be using for your hired guns is probably the most important hired gun you could actually recruit for your gang, and that is the ubiquitous Rogue Doc. The Rogue Doc have medical expertise as such a sought-after skill in the Underhive, and most of those who have such training sell their services at not insignificant prices. However, should a tragedy befall one of your docs, perhaps an influential gang leader dies under their scalpel, or they are blamed for an outbreak of sickness, they throw in their lot with a friendly gang, train their expertise for protection. Now, the Rogue Doc is the most important hanger-on and probably the most valuable hanger-on that any gang can actually recruit, and the reason why is because of all the injuries that your fighters will take over the course of a campaign. And of course, they're also very cheap, and in my opinion, there should be the very first hanger-on that you should always recruit for your gang in case anyone gets injured in that gang. That's the reason why you want to have it. Plus, at 50 credits, they are quite valuable and they pay for themselves, and they're worth their weight in gold. Most gangs can recruit anywhere between 0 to 2 of these Rogue Docs. I highly recommend at least taking one. If you got extra coin, you can always get another one if you need to, which is great. Now, the nice thing about hanger-ons is that, technically speaking, you don't really need to have miniatures to represent your hanger-ons in your gang, because very rarely will they ever be deployed on the battlefield, if almost never. So because that, you really don't necessarily need to have the miniatures on the tabletop. You could just keep them off to the side, but you can still use their services, which is really nice about these characters. And that actually applies for a lot of hanger-ons that you actually have. So let's talk about why the Rogue Doc is so important and the things that they bring to the table for your gang. Now, obviously, the very first thing we're going to talk about is the Rogue Doc's cost. They cost 50 credits to recruit these guys, and at the founding of your gang, you should always try to get one for your gang, because for 50 credits, these guys are worth their weight in gold. For their stats are not that great, but that's because they're not really using them for combat. They have a 5-inch wound allowance, 5+ weapon skill, 5+ ballistic skill, 2 strength, and 3 toughness, 1 wound, 4 initiative, 1 attack, 9 leadership, 8 cool, 7 willpower, as well as 5 intelligence. Like I said, you're not really using these guys for the characteristics, because that's not the reason why you take them. They do have the Medicate skill, which is quite nice, which means you can recover wounds as well as flesh wounds if they're on the tabletop with your gangs. All they gotta do is pass an intelligence test, and an intelligence test of 5+ is very easy to do on 2d6, so you'll be able to patch up your guys if you put on the tabletop. And they're either packing a last pistol or a stub gun. I recommend giving the last pistol just because it has a plentiful trait, plus a +2 on the reroll for the ammo. It's really nice having that last pistol. And they also have a Medicate kit that they can also use to help stabilize your fighters. If they're within right next to your fighters who've been injured, they can roll 2 injury dice, and you can choose which one you want to apply for that downed fighter. Now, when it comes to Rogue Docs, very mediocre, if not a liability on the tabletop. But the real reason why you take them is for their special rule, which is Patch Up. And it basically reads, if a gang has a Rogue Doc, it can make an additional medical escort action in the post-battle sequence, in addition to any other actions made by the gang's leader or champions. This visit does not cost any credits. However, a result of 6 on the table is treated as stabilized rather than a full recovery, thanks to the Doc's comparatively limited supplies and lack of proper medical technology. If a gang has more than one Rogue Doc, it can make this additional action once per each of them. Now, the reason why this is so important is because in case you rolled that horrible critical injury roll on your gang. On a critical injury roll, what you basically have to do is do a medical escort mission where you have to pay anywhere between 2d6 times 10 credits to save your fighter and to stabilize them. And if you don't pay that 2d6 times 10 credits, your fighter automatically dies. The sad part is they can still die even with paying that high amount. The reason why rogue docs are so valuable is because for 40 credits, which is a fraction of the cost, you can use these guys unlimitedly throughout the entire course of your campaign. So if you have at least one rogue doc and one fighter takes a critical injury, you can actually do that medical escort mission for free, and that's the reason why they're so critically important for your gang. In addition to that as well, the reason why you also want to keep them is because any one of your critical fighters get hurt. So like, for example, gang leader, champion, or maybe a fighter that you really like in your gang. Whatever the case may be, these rogue docs can help save them and keep them alive for longer throughout your campaign. I recommend getting at least 2 rogue docs over the course of a campaign if you're able to do so. I also suggest you grab one immediately at the end of it, just in case, immediately when you begin the campaign, so that way you have this ability for you. And that's the reason why the rogue doc is considered the most valuable of all the hanger-ons available to a gang. And the best part about it, any gang can take it. Technically speaking, outlaw gangs can take rogue docs. And that's the reason why they're so important and why you should always consider taking one in your gang when you create it. So there you guys have it. Join us as we explore the characters, lore, and tactics that make Necromunda's hired guns help a critical part of your gang's success. Don't forget to like, comment, and or subscribe. Your guys' input is valuable to us as always. Also stay up to date on the latest episodes of this series. And if you have a favorite hanger-on, brute, or hired gun that you want to see us cover or recommend, please drop a comment down below, because I'm looking for ideas about who to focus on in this series for Necromunda hired guns. I'm Commander Cheapskate. That's good for this one, you guys. We'll catch you guys next one. Peace out and stay classy.